personal curriculum this, winter arc that. I'm not even sure I know what a winter arc is. Hold on. Let's ask my ride or die. My ride or die is Google. The winter arc is a self-improvement trend that involves setting and achieving intense goals between October and January. Well, we missed that. The winter arc can include goals like fitness, nutrition, mental health, sleep, other, like paying off debt, changing careers, damn, or strengthening friendships. That's cute. I love it. Love that for y'all. If you're not new here, you know I do not follow anything within the calendar year, but I do have a birthday next week. That is my new year. It is also the end of the year in general, and so everyone else in the world is scrambling to improve themselves, and I love it regardless, no matter what day it happens. Get up. I also think it's quite ironic that the winter arc seems to be in a 90-ish day time frame. So does the personal curriculums. So does the artist way. If you know, you know. Everything is done in 90 days. So in my head, it's like I've already been doing a thing. Y'all know I love a good 12-week year. Now, I won't be building a 12-week year with you all here now, but I will be explaining my plans for my winter arc or my new year arc or my whatever. I have goals. I'm on another self-improvement journey once again. No shame in my game. Before I even get too deep into what those goals are, my biggest thing in life and what a lot of my journeys have to do with is my time management and my being realistic, because I am a dreamer. I have big dreams, big goals all the time and nonstop. And so whenever I do start these journeys, it's mostly about setting myself up for success, not about like what happens at the finish line or, well, the finish line always looks good, but it's mostly about me setting myself up for success instead of constantly being in dream mode. Two of the books I recommend often are 12-Week Year and 4,000 Weeks. Check those out if you haven't. I will also link up here 2 cards for previous videos that I've done around both of those books. Now let's talk about my very first goal. It's all about my appearance, okay? There is no end result for this goal, but we need to step it up. Step it up's not really what I want to say. I think I look good all the time, whether I'm chilling or not, but we need to get into a space where I'm always physically prepared for anything. I'm prepared to get on camera. I'm not letting my hair not being done stop me from vlogging that day or filming whatever I have to film. I'm not letting it stop me from attending events. I always have an outfit for every occasion, that type of thing. I want to be overly prepared. That is a blocker that I've identified as something that prevents me from doing all the great things that I want to do. Let's fix it. When it comes to appearance, I am considering hair, jewelry, clothes, head to toe, and the extras. And by extras, I mean anything that would typically require an appointment out of me. Usually that means nails, my eyebrows, stuff like that. The girls know what I'm talking about. There are a couple of tools and systems that I have to address my appearance and make sure I stay on top of things, and I will take you there. But first, let's start with the jewelry since I'm already here. I tend to wear the same jewelry every single day, same stacks every day. So few things are important. It has to be tarnish free. It has to be durable. It has to go with everything, which usually means it needs to be a smaller, more elegant type of piece so that it can go with everything, which is why, you know what I'm gonna say, I shop with Ana Luisa. I recently just got a new necklace here and a new pair of earrings. I added those to my initial necklace from them and this link bracelet. These are pieces that I wear all the time. Since I got this new necklace and pair of earrings, all the time. Now I'm sharing this in particular in this video because my goal here is to go ahead and purchase a few more pieces so that I can add to these stacks and they just make everything look better. I am wearing a hoodie and jeans right now. I usually am wearing a hoodie and jeans throughout the week. That will be addressed later in my journey. But Ana Luisa is my go-to because they're known for their quality. It's really affordable and everything is backed by a 2-year warranty. So even those first pieces that I got, I still am in warranty for those, I'm pretty sure. If anything were to happen, which I doubt, I have not taken them off, I don't think, since I've gotten them. You can go back and watch the receipts. I shower in them, sleep in them, the whole 9. Anyway, if you're seeing this video on Black Friday, of course, it's the season of shopping, the season of gifting as well. So if not for you, maybe for someone else, but they are currently having their biggest sale of the year, 30% off. I'm right on time. And if your cart reaches $130, you get an extra piece of jewelry thrown in there. So I'd say now is the time. That's when I'll be shopping. I want that extra piece. Also a plus, obviously, if you have a goal like mine and you want to stack pieces, this is the place I recommend. If you are interested, I do have my link in the description so you can get that discount. And if you're watching my video on Black Friday, like I said, you're right on time. Make sure you watch my videos on time moving forward. And that's the first thing I'm definitely doing on my list. I will be shopping, but speaking of shopping, let's go into the clothing as well. Now, you know, as soon as you get an iPad, you got to change your life. Those are the rules. Actually, those aren't even the rules. It just happens. I have been using my iPad to plan out my shopping experiences because as someone who is an impulse shopper, that had to stop. we got to cut that out. So because I'm constantly scrolling anyway, I'm always pulling references, inspiration, things I just want to buy, and I'm dropping them in my Good Notes notebook, and I am then only shopping from that notebook. So whatever I see in there is what I'm actually purchasing. That being said, I'm also being intentional in choosing pieces that are kind of versatile, universal. I don't like owning a lot of clothes. I don't. And I love repeating outfits. And I love repeating articles of clothing that can fit in many different outfits. Capsule wardrobe, I believe it's called. I don't know if I'll get that tiny, but something like that. Here's an example of one of my inspiration sessions, and a few of these things have been purchased and it's been working out. So let's continue on that wave. Let's just keep going. As for my hair and the extras, these are things I want to plan in advance, whether it's surrounding an event or it's just a random Tuesday and I know it's about time that I need my hair done since the last scheduled hairstyle I had in the calendar. It needs to be in a calendar, essentially. I already had a calendar called What It Looked Like, and here she is. I have not filled her out for the time being, so these are just examples, but this is what it looks like. As you can see right now, I'm rocking my natural hair, so I know my What It Looked Like calendar gotta have something on it every week because I can't go long without touching this hair. But let's say I decide to give myself a protective style for my birthday. That would last me a much longer time, so then I could put in the calendar 3 weeks from then what my next hairstyle would be, and I have 3 whole weeks to figure out how that's gonna get done because it's in the calendar. It's planned. There's no excuse. Get it done. Same thing goes for my nails. I like this the most for nails because I'm someone who saves nail inspo on Instagram and Pinterest all the time. And when it comes to those things, and of course, you know, when you get to your nail tech, you want to be ready with the inspo. You want to tell her all your ideas and make sure she knows what she's doing. I haven't done a fun manicure in so long because I show up unprepared. I've been a Frenchie girl for the longest because I've been unprepared. I do love my Frenchies, but I do miss my fun sets. I can plan it in this calendar. In this calendar, I probably wouldn't put things like an eyebrow appointment because my eyebrows are going to look the same every time. This calendar is specifically for what it looked like. What are we gonna look like? Now, before I even move on to my next goals, one of the things I kept mentioning was how much I scroll and find inspo online and things I wanna buy and so on and so forth. How are we returning to all the things I'm saving? Now, this is one of my all-time favorite tools ever. To keep track of all the things I have ever seen and wanted to revisit later, I use My Mind. My Mind is basically your brain in one database. It just all exists in this one place. When you see things online, or if you screenshot things, or if you see an article, if it's a picture, it literally, anything that you can share on your phone or on your computer or whatever, you can share it directly to My Mind. It creates a card for it, and it automatically applies tags to it so that when you come in later, if you're looking for something specific, if I'm looking for jeans, for example, I can type in jeans or denim or whatever the word is that I'm looking for, and it'll pull up everything I've ever saved that falls under that category. You can also manually go in and add those labels, add like specific folders for things. It's the best. I also use this in my professional work when I'm looking for inspiration, when I save images that I've seen or color palettes or whatever. If I'm doing branding projects and I've seen a brand that I like, whatever it is, everything I see that I like, that I want to come back to, is on My Mind. If I'm looking at a cloud in the sky and I like the shape of it, I could take a picture of it, send it to My Mind, delete the picture out my phone, and it'll be there. And when I go to search cloud, my cloud will be there. I love that app. Check it out. And hopefully you can still hear me fine because sometimes my car sounds like I'm on the track. My next goal is moving my body more. How many times do I have to make that a goal of mine until it becomes a habit? That's something just about everybody can relate to. You fall in and out of that habit. There are very long stretches of time where I couldn't be more fit. But when it comes to making it a long-lasting habit, there's 2 things I've noticed. 1, I have to put some type of money behind it. I just have to. I hate losing money, therefore putting money behind something that I could potentially use then becomes a punishment. I better show up. My answer to that currently was joining an expensive cult. I committed to a membership at Solid Core. When it comes to Solid Core, a committed membership means 12 months of commitment. No matter what, I'm going to be paying for a year. I'm already 4 months into my year. It's been working. I can't stand to miss a class because it is expensive to miss a class. I have Solid Core today, 8:30 p.m. I'm not sure why I booked the 8:30 p.m. class. I must love the instructor, but I'm also gonna make sure I get there. The second part to that is I need to sneak it into my routine. I don't want it to become something that I dread, and it's no surprise to anyone that the more you move your body, the more your body eventually craves movement. Ultimately, I wanna build that craving. So initially, on top of my financially forced activity. We're creating small little guidelines that force me to move. For example, I have to walk my dog 2 to 3 times every day. Depending on his mood, he controls me. I don't control him. I also go to this very specific store to buy 2 things that I love that I can acknowledge are like a treat for me. That store is a mile away from my house. Mozzie, my dog, is welcome to come with. So the guideline there is I have to walk to said store. And it'd be easier if I just walk there while I'm walking my dog. He gets a long walk, I get a long walk, and I get my reward in the end. That's a lifestyle decision. I don't need to drive there. A couple of months ago, some of you know, I got into a car accident and I still have not taken my car to the shop. That should also be on this list. In the week or so after the accident, I didn't want to drive anywhere because I was a little concerned about having my car on the road. As a result, I was walking everywhere. Any place accessible on foot saw me on foot. Between clocking into those 2 things and actually implementing them, I've seen so much progress this fall. Maybe I did have a winter arc. Who knew? But I've seen so much progress already. We're carrying that into my new year. I'm in a phone booth. Do I look crazy? Now, when it comes to my work, that's where those 2 books I mentioned earlier come into play. The entire premise of 4,000 Weeks is to remind us that time is finite. We don't have an unlimited amount of time, and therefore, we have to decide what is most important to get done at any given moment. We can't just, like I said, be dreamers and want to do everything all at once. It's not going to happen. And that's why we feel like we can't do anything. That fuels procrastination, that stops us from meeting the goals, etc. Then you have 12-week year that kind of combats that by forcing you to pick 2 to 3 major goals, your most important things. Prioritize your most important things and break them down into small steps to complete them within 12 weeks. I live by this. I've been through many cycles of this system by now. Some of them I've shared on this channel, but the difference with this one is I'm only doing work-focused goals now. When I say work, I don't just mean things that make me money, but things that I actually have to sit down and actively be present to do, in addition to things that would make me better at my job. I hope that makes sense. As a result, I picked the things that are most important to me now. These things are most important because they are the things that I have fallen off with most recently that I feel like would be easiest for me to pick back up. That would be personal design projects, growing my YouTube channel, and building a brand I've been trying to build for the better part of a year. It's probably been a year already. Shouldn't take me that long. I've already completed many steps as part of it, but I keep picking it up and putting it down and picking it up and put enough. So let's take a look. I won't go into too much detail on this because I have enough videos on 12-week year and my previous specific goals and tactics for my 12-week years, but I do want to share for the sake of letting you know what my quote-unquote non-winter arc looks like, what these goals will be. I know you're like, where do these other goals fit in? Those don't have end results. The point of 12-week year is that you have to have something that's quantifiable or something that you can identify as the end of the journey, like you've met a goal. The other ones are more so lifestyle changes. These I have specific end goals in mind. The first one would simply be to complete 12 design projects. That's a little high, that's 1 a week, but because of my schedule change and like I've taken on a lot of different types of work, I have completely abandoned personal design projects, and I hate that for me. That's not it. And so I feel like I should be able to dedicate a day a week to doing that. The good thing about that is that can be combined with other things like making YouTube videos or whatever, making content surrounding that, or using it to like if one of them, for example, would be making a holiday card. That's something that I would actually do for the holidays, so it's not a whole separate task that I now have to add on to my workload. You get me? But planning it out so that I ideally by the end of this would have completed 12 things, making that a habit again. The second one, 30K subscribers on YouTube. I don't know where am I at now? I don't know where I'm at now, but that sounds like a good number. That picture is from when I got to 15K. I have not done anything this year at all to intentionally grow this channel. I barely uploaded this year compared to the year before, so we'll pick that back up. And my last one is to build that brand that I've been sitting on for a year. As you can see, I don't have the tactics listed out down here because I don't want y'all in my business that much, but you can see some of the tactics that I have for the other 2 goals. I'm still working on filling this out. I want to make sure I get it right, but I will be starting this on the 1st of December. If you've never been here before and need more info on the 12-week year and how I do it, I'll link a card up here. Now, I think we've covered everything that I plan on doing moving forward. No, it's not exactly a winter arc, but it is winter arc adjacent, and essentially, in my opinion, a winter arc can happen at any time of the year. It's just another trend, another name for a trend. So here I am. If you've seen my video on the perfect morning routine for creatives, this is kind of like a next step to me. I got my morning routine down. It's changed my life significantly. I'm really excited about it. So now this is what I'm doing with the rest of my days, because we can't just stop at the morning. I won't even lie, there have been plenty of times where I did all that and went to sleep right after. Let me know down below how you're planning to maximize like the extra time you get in the colder months, because this is like the perfect time to pick up something like this. It can literally be anything. Everybody don't got to get in the gym. I get it. Thank you again to Ana Luisa for sponsoring today's video. Don't forget to check out the description for the link to get your 30% off and possibly a free piece of jewelry after you spend $130. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.